Welcome back. We are talking on SPSS. Last Monday we talked about crosstabs. We talked about case summaries and some basic steps in SPSS. So this question number one we have done last time, and I've already sent you a video on that. Now talking about question number two. If you look at question number two, it is about a researcher who wants to compare two different types of therapy on children's self-esteem and anger management skills. The therapy is investigated where non-directive play therapy, that is child directs the play, and active play therapy, example, therapist leads the child through structured play activities. A total of 12 children were included in the study, with 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls, receiving each type of therapy. After 6 weeks of therapy, the children's self-esteem, measured on 10 to 50 scale, and anger management skills, measured on 5 to 25 scale, were assessed. The data are presented in the file, which will be just seen, and the variables are therapy, gender, self-esteem, and anger manage. So we'll open the file and do appropriate analysis in SPSS to answer the questions like the value labels for therapy and gender. And the value labels for therapy and gender are one is non-directive and two is directive, and gender one is male and two is female. And then we'll run the case summaries for the same. So let's share uh, the SPSS file, which is having question two for us. So here we go, and this is it. There's a file given to us. We'll be just talking about the data view first. And if you look at the data view, we have therapy, gender, self-esteem, and anger management being talked up here. So therapy, if you look at, we have got non-directive 1, directive 2, gender again male 1, female 2, self-esteem, which is in scale of 10 to 50 is here, and then anger management again in a scale of 5 to 25 is given before you. Now moving to variable view, where we have already created the variables. Therapy is given to us, so therapy is there, and the values is 1 is non-directive, 2 is directive type of therapy which we are going for. And if you look at the measure here, it is nominal. A therapy is here category you can say variable, because we have categorized it into non-directive and directive therapies. Gender similarly has 1 as male and 2 as female, and again it is a category variable whereby we have got 2 categories of male and female, and the scale is nominal. Self-esteem, which I've already talked to you, is in a scale of 10 to 50, and it's basically an interval scale. So it's a scale over here. And since the values are already mentioned, like 25 or 32 or 37 or 15, whatever the values are, so there is no need to keep the values over here. So the values have got a meaning. Anger manage is again a scale where we have got values in the range of 5 to 25. And here again, if you look at, it is an interval scale. Now going for the analysis, we'll go for analyze, click on analyze, and then go for reports. Move straight away from reports to something called case summaries. You just need to, you can say, go for left bottom click, and as you do it, you have this box coming up. Now you have got these 4 variables before you: therapy, gender, self-esteem, and anger. Click, put on, you can say, press on the shift button and then the below arrow, and then you have, you can say, copied, you can select it, all the 4, you can say, variables. Click the button, and there you are, you've got the variables. Move to stats. You already have number of cases here, which is 12 in this case. Mean can be selected. And the second variable I'll be selecting is standard deviation. Here we go, and this is standard deviation we have taken, which I have selected over here. Continue I go, okay I do, and here we have got these 4 variables being selected, and we are now moving to something called output file. Since this output file will not be visible to you directly, so what I'll do is I'll open the output file for you, and now it's being shared for you. So this is the output file. So if you look at, you can see, so we have this chapter 1 exercise 2 output file over here. So therapy, gender, self-esteem, and anger manage. All these variables have got 12 respondents, or 12 students were taken. And since all these people have filled their data, so we have information for each one of them. The included percentage is 100 for each of the cases. Exclude case therefore becomes 0, and total is 100% because 100 plus 0 is again 100%. Now coming to case summaries, which is something we were trying to, you can say, understand. So if you look at the case summaries which we have got from the data, we see that okay, fine, therapy. If you look at, it's first six are non-directive, remaining six are you can say directive. If you look at the gender part, we have got, you can say, first three males who are non-directive, next three is females who are again non-directive, next is three, you can say, males who are directive, and finally you can say three females who are again directive. So this is it, and we've got the values of self-esteem and anger manage. Now if we are coming to the mean part, I will not look at the mean and standard deviation for therapy and gender because these are nominal data, and nominal data doesn't actually have a mean because it is just a category. One for male and two for female will have totally different meaning when it comes to means. In case, instead of putting male as 1, which we have done in our case, we put male as 2 and female as 1, so answers will vary. Same as the case with, you can say, directive you have mentioned as 2 and non-directive as 1, but in case we swap the values and make non-directive as 2 and directive as 1, answers will change. So maybe it's just a way of representing the values when it comes to category or nominal, you can say, variables, and has nothing to do with the value that is being associated to it. It is merely a means of identification. So we'll not be, you can say, taking care of means in case of therapy and gender, which is nominal or category variables, but in case of self-esteem and anger manage, look at the value of mean, it's 33 point something, and standard deviation is 6.54. So it is almost 20% to, you can say, what the value of self-esteem is. Mean, and you can standard deviation if you look at. So standard deviation is, you can say, contributing about 20% of mean. And when it comes to anger manage, here the value for anger manage, which is between 5 and 25, the mean value is 16.1667. So that is it. And standard deviation for anger manage is 4.32, which means that anger manage, in case of anger manage, the standard deviation is almost 25%, a little above 25% as compared to, in relation to mean. So that is the data for you, and that's here. Simply you can say, talking that how this file has to be saved, what you can basically do is you can simply, you can say, Control S, and then the file can be saved. Or what we basically do is we come here, file, and we say save, or we say save as. So file will be saved. So I have a desktop, I'm saving this file in desktop, but you should save this file actually at a location which you want. So you can select in the very, you can say, the very folder where you need to select it. And my name is, you can say, output 1, but what I'll do is I'll say chapter 1 dot exercise 2, and this is where I'm saving. So this is what I'm saving, and this file has been saved in my desktop. Done. So this was question number 2. Let's swiftly move to question number 3 so that we know what the question is and how we are going to do it. So let's move to question 3, and here we are. So question 3 is before us. So we have, you can say, the data file that's already available, and I'll be opening it. I've also, you can say, mailed and maybe send this this particular file by Google Classroom. So it contains 10 values, 10 students. On the values of 10 students on following 3 variables: gender, number of classes enrolled, and number of hours worked per week. So we have to open the file and perform the appropriate analysis to answer the following questions. And the first question is to create value label for gender, that is 1 for male and 2 for female, and run the case summaries procedure on data, and then print your results. So what we do basically is we move, you can say, from this file to the file which is about the question. So this file I've already shared with you. And then if you look at the data variable or data view, if you look at, so this is the data available before you. You have 10 values. So we have got 1 and 2 for males and females, number of classes attended by the students, and hours they worked in a given week. So this all data is given to you. Gender is basically nominal, number of hours is basically scale, and hours worked, number of classes is basically, you can say, scale, and hours worked is again scale. And rather you can say, moving to the variable view to understand all this thing, if you actually look at the top, besides gender, we have these balloons. This basically means it is nominal data. Scale is, you know, a way of, you can say, understanding that the values are in either are interval scale or ratio scale form. So coming to the variable view now, we have the gender already given to us. Values, male is 1, female is 2, okay. And then we have got nominal data over here. Number of classes and maybe hours worked, since it is actually, you can say, scale data. So we need not keep the values. Values itself has got a meaning, and they are scale, you can say, data. Now what we basically do is we go for analysis, and for that what we are going for is that let me you can say work on this file again, because somewhere I'm seeing that things are not coming in a fine way. So what we do is I move to, you can say, this one, and I look at the question. So this is the question before you, and this question we have already studied. Now coming back to the file to see that the file is in the fine proper shape for us to do the analysis, and here we go. So this is a shape for you. Good. So this is the question. Sorry, this is the wrong question we have taken. I'll move back. I'll move to the actual question, and if you look here, you have this exercise 3 over here. So this is what we are sharing, and this is it. Now it's not showing, basically that's the problem. Now here it shows. So that was the thing. So we move to analyze, we move to reports, we move to, you can say, reports, and then we move to case summaries. That's it. And these 3 variables are given to you. Press the shift button, move the arrow button, which is a down arrow button, click on the middle, you can say, arrow, and then stats. I will be just keen on understanding what mean is, and then we are talking of standard deviation. So mean I'll select first, and then I'll select the standard deviation, and here we go. So standard deviation has been selected. There we go. Continue, I'll click. Okay, I'll do, and the analysis has already come. And what I'll do is I'll go for no share, new share, and then I'll look at, you can say, the share part which I'm getting. So here I get, okay, share. So this is what the things are. So chapter 1 exercise 3 I've got, and this is there. So gender, 10 values are there, number of classes again 10, and hours worked is again 10. So this is given to us, and if you look at, you can say, the summaries here, what you find is that we've got males, and so gender is male, female, all we know now. So we know how many males are there, how many females are there. So we know that we have got 2 plus 1 3 and 1 4, 4 males, and 3 plus 3 6 females. So that's there. Number of classes they've attended, that again we know, number of classes 3 5 4 6. So all those values are given to us, and how many hours they've actually worked. So 20 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours, 14 hours. Likewise, we have got the last person working for almost 25 hours. That's good. And then we have got number 7 again working for 40 hours. Done. So if you look at the hours worked, is also given to us. N is 10 in for each of the cases, because we have taken data for 10 students. 4 of them are male and 6 are female. Now coming to mean for gender will not be there, as we all know that gender is basically category data, just got no meaning to the number that is attached to it. If male is 1, female is 2, that has no value, you can say, uh, being you can say taken up as something of any standing. Rather, there's just a means to identify. So one is male, two is female, and that's only a means of identifying. But number of classes they've studied, so maybe you can say if a person like number one has studied only 3 classes and number five studied 6 classes. So I can simply say that number one is just has studied just half the classes to what number six has studied. This is basically a ratio scale we have got. Arts worked again, same thing. If I'm talking of number one has worked for 20 hours. Okay, whereas if you look at, you can say number seven, female, she has worked for 40 hours. So she has worked twice to what you can say number one has worked. So that's there. And if you look at the mean part here, the mean for you can say for a number of classes, you can say the people have, you can say, taken up, or students have taken up is 4, exactly 4, and the hours worked is 17 hours in average. And if you look at the standard deviation for number of classes is 1.69 out of 4, so it's considerably high. And if you look at the hours worked, standard deviation is again very high, 11.01. This means that there's a huge, you can say, gap between, you can say, the minimum and maximum values when it comes to number of classes or hour work. And you can simply guess from the data itself. When it comes to number of classes, the minimum value we have got is 1 and the maximum value we have got is 6. So values are fluctuating, and that's only for 10, you can say, sample size. Hours worked, we are moving from something called 0, that is for male at number 6 position, to maybe you can say female at number 7 position who has got 40 hours of working. So that's a huge gap, and therefore you can say the standard deviation comes to 11 point something. It's uh, more than 65% of total, you can say, contributory, you can say, the standard deviation has on the mean. So all these are the values which we are trying to understand, and maybe you can say we are trying to not only understand, but these can be the basic, you can say, case summaries which we can make from such data. So we've understood what case summaries are and how they can be done up with. So we can save the file, we move to file, we say save as, and then we say chapter 1, exercise 2 was already done. So let's make it exercise 3 now. And what I do is I say chapter 1 dot exercise 3, and then the moment I say save, it is being saved in my desktop. So that's the topic which we have done, you can say, this week, and I'll be mailing you this file right now. So I want you to revise and see how we have been doing the things. So have a nice time. Thank you.